Capital cities aren't usually the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about sustainability. But luckily, some cities like Oslo have started to put sustainability as a top priority. Oslo was the European Green Capital in 2019, mainly because of the ambitious climate budget that accounts for our carbon emission in the same way as we account for the finances. And we have pledged to become carbon neutral by 2030. Oslo is one of the fastest growing capital cities in Europe, and tourism arrivals to Oslo has nearly doubled in the last 10 years. It can be quite complex to address the environmental burden from the economic tourism activities, but Oslo is doing that quite effectively. The city centre of Oslo has had a major facelift over the last decade, and the new development has had sustainability as a main priority. Oslo has got a really well-developed transportation system with trams, buses, boats, all of which are mostly electric. Oslo is also a bike-friendly city with more than 200 kilometers of bicycle paths. So in Oslo, it's not just one big sustainability initiative, but it's the sum of all the big and small initiatives by the different actors that's all working towards the same goal of making Oslo a sustainable destination.
So the concept of Kok is floating saunas. So we use electric engines on the boats. They're also completely quiet, so they don't then bother the marine life so much. We want to inspire people to spend more money on experiences and less money on things. It's about being with nature, in nature, although it is in the city. And also it really makes you feel alive to get into the cold waters in the Norwegian winters.
The latest addition to the Oslo cultural scene, the new National Museum, is the largest art museum in the Nordic countries. When we built the building, it's built under Future Built's criteria. So they've been using recycled cement and recycled steel, and the building is both warmed up and cooled down by seawater. Here you can enjoy both traditional art, modern art, architecture, design. Well, you can see the world-famous Scream by Edvard Munch. We have Van Gogh, we have Picasso, and we have all the greatest artists from the Norwegian art scene.
It should be easy to make sustainable choices when traveling to Oslo. The vast majority of the hotels here, they have a third-party certification in sustainability. That means that they are taking action and comply with the minimum standards required.
At this hotel, we have the concept of Grow Hub, where we grow food here at the hotel that goes straight through the kitchens and is being served to the guests. So we have 2 rooftop gardens, herb garden, a vegetable garden, and then we also have an indoor production here with hydroponics, growing microgreens and herbs and lettuce all year. Green roofs are important in many ways. A green roof will retain rainwater and it will also reduce the energy use of the building. But it's also very important to support biodiversity in the city.
So I'm here at Bygdøy Peninsula, just outside the city centre of Oslo. Bygdøy is known for its natural beauty, with forests, nature, trails and beaches. It's also rich in culture and history, home to some of Norway's most interesting museums. That's why it's so often called the Museum Island. Bygdøy is easily accessible by boat, bus, bike and even kayak.
We go from Bygdøy, as we are located now, and then we paddle out to the islands, many of the islands in the Oslo fjord, find a lovely spot and we do yoga there. And after the yoga, we take some plastic up from the beach. Customers just love to have the experience of helping out in Oslo. I think the last 10 years we've been more and more conscious about that we love the nature and we want to take care of it. So for every customer that comes on my tours, there's less plastic after my tours. And that's just great, isn't it?
The Royal Manor farm here at Bygdøy has been actually a royal residence for centuries. Today It's a modern, organic, urban farm. It's also Oslo's biggest milk-producing farm. All the year round, the farm is open for the public, working towards a more and more sustainable practice. The farm's face out to public is through the cafe.
In Gartneria, we have very much a farm-to-table concept. We use all our own vegetables and all the meats that we have from the Manor farm, and we obviously produce a lot of vegetables here. Today I'm going to cook a dish with lamb. What I need for that dish now is just a little bit of green salad. So I got that right here. We're going to start doing the ramson sauce and whisk it all together. So we have fillet of lamb. We're going to brown the butter as well so we get that nice nutty flavors. For the plating, we're going to do it really, really simple. We're just going to break off the cheese like this. Also spring flowers. We picked them this morning. And yeah, so there we go. And it's all organic. It all ends up on the menu here. And yeah, it's open for everybody.
So we are standing here now in one of the most iconic locations in Oslo and Norway, at the ski jump at Holmenkollen. This is only 25 minutes by the metro from Oslo city centre. This is very popular for locals, but also for tourists. From here you can do all sorts of activities. You can go skiing, cross-country, downhill, hiking trips, even ski jumping. So an important point here is the freedom to roam law that allows us to use this free of charge all year. The love for nature is kind of in the DNA of the Osmopolitans. So we really want to protect our nature, and we use it a lot, and we like to welcome people. Not far from here, there's also a very unique outdoor art installation in nature called the Rose Castle. It's by the artist Vebjørn Sand, and it commemorates 80 years since the Nazi invasion of Norway in 1940. Sustainable tourism development is about minimizing the environmental negative impacts, but also maximizing the positive impacts on the destination. Because a good place to live in is also a good place to visit.